失礼いたします。昼食をお持ちいたしました。入れ。失礼いたします。
After receiving approval, Cannon entered the VIP room, pushing the lunch serving cart. The servants called this room the Witch's VIP room. That was because they had been strictly ordered by Kinzo to always keep it clean so that it could be used at any time. And yet guests were never allowed into this room, no matter who they were. That's why, at some point, the servants had started calling it the Witch's VIP room, supposed to be set aside only to welcome the special person Kinzo was waiting for, the witch from that portrait. And today, Cannon learned that this was entirely correct. Does this look like the Purgatorio room? A little bit?
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know if it's exactly like it, but it kind of looks similar.
It does, doesn't it?
Huh. When he entered the room, the witch with golden hair was gazing out the window. Outside, the rain had already started to gather strength. As she looked out at the beautiful rose garden, which had taken several days' work to make ready for today, she saw the winds and rain ravage it. Was she lost in some sentimental feelings? Cannon was not able to infer anything more from her back that faced him.
お食事の用意をさせていただきます、ベアトリーチェ様。
So Cannon went out of his way to call out the witch's name because he wanted to make her turn around. He wanted to know. He wanted to know whether the witch who had tempted him and Shannon in the past really had appeared again. When he did, the witch whose name had been called kept her back to him and laughed. Laughed in a subdued voice. Oh. Cannon was startled. It was almost as though she had read his mind and knew he had called to her out of a desire to make her turn around.
良い匂いだな。どうやらクラウスは良い料理人を入れたと見える。
はい。近年入ったゴーダという料理人です。
He is also a magical girl.
料理の腕が良きことは何にも勝るものよ。美食は人の世で生きる快楽の山中をなす。千年を飽きぬにはこれを欠かさぬが秘訣よ。
Cannon and the witch's eyes met, and she grinned. There could be no doubt, not even the slightest. This was without a doubt the witch from that day, Beatrice. The witch that was once visible only to him and Shannon now finally held a form and had arrived openly through the entrance hall as a guest.
リーチェ様。
久しぶりよの。家具のカノン。
お久しぶりでございます。
Cannon tried not to forget a modicum of courtesy towards the guest. The dark clouds had begun to enshroud his heart because of the visit of this suspicious witch, and on the day of the family conference at that.
何をしに現れたのかと気が気でならぬと見える。そうであろう。
Cannon didn't force himself to answer. This witch probably reads minds, so it would be pointless to go to all the trouble of saying it out loud. Of course, even that rebellious spirit of his would be read. So the witch snickered at Cannon's childish resistance.
金蔵との最後の約束を果たしに来た。
親方様との最後の約束。
わらわは金蔵に山をなす黄金を貸し付けた。それを金蔵が放棄するとき、わらわは利子をつけて返却を受けることになっておる。今宵それをもらい受けに来た。
僕には何の話かわかりません。
However, anxiety began to gather in his heart. This witch never had anything good to say.
違いない。魔女の話にろくなものはないぞ。そなたは正しい。されど魔女とハサミは使いようだ。
The blunt scissors.
ソロモン王のように偉業を成し遂げる者も時にはおる。最も多くの場合は童話が語るようにろくな目に遭わんがな。
I don't know, man. A lot of fairy tales don't end up with the characters having a good fate, do they?
Oh, so we gotta.
Yeah, exactly. Or, oh, what is it? Isn't it? It's a German fairy tale about a guy who, like, sits in kids' closets and he has, like, knives on his fingers or something.
What?
And he comes out of the closet.
German fairy tale about knives?
Yeah.
Guy with knives.
I swear, I'm not making this up. It's like Edward Scissorhands, but like on crack, and he like murders children. I'm pretty sure.
Are you sure you're not thinking of some movie?
I am very certain I'm not thinking of some movie. It's definitely a thing. Or something like that. I don't know if I got it exactly right.
I'll figure out what it is.
Yeah.
わらわの利子の取り立てすらも自らの儀式に取り込みおった。わらわをも超えるとてつもない大魔術師か。さもなければ狂気に取りつかれたただの知れ者か。面白い。実に面白い。
Cannon couldn't guess what the witch was muttering and laughing about. All he knew was that anything this witch deemed worthy of laughter must have the exact opposite meaning to the rest of them. And rising to the back of his mind were the horrifying words of the witch had spat at him in the past. Did you think I would lend him that power without any compensation? I'll lend it. Am I supposed to be trying to imitate the witch right now?
Sure, you can. Ooh.
I can't do it. I'll lend a hand in love. My compensation shall be one ticket to watch the cruel fate that the two of them will eventually meet. Even after 1,000 years, no better show exists. Doesn't that look like Jessica's uniform? Oh, his face.
まさかお前は
I'm here to kill you! Oh, look at that face.
God,
That's
that crazy
terrifying.
Cannon's face and the crazy laugh is just the best mixture ever.
懐かしき故郷を貫く鮎の
Oh, okay,
川
epitaph.
黄金鏡を目指す者よこれを下りて鍵を探す
The witch suddenly began to recite a bizarre poem. It was something he remembered hearing.
それはまさか魔女の碑文
Epitaph. There was no doubt. It was the epitaph accompanying the portrait of the witch that had been hung by Ginzo. The relatives imagined that it almost certainly pointed to the location of the hidden gold, but no one knew what it meant. The witch had suddenly begun reciting that epitaph.
カノン家具である貴様なら金蔵から聞いていようすべてを黄金鏡へ返す日がやってきたのだ喜ぶがいいお前の恥辱にまみれた家具の日々がようやく終わる時がやってきたのだ
To end as in they'll die, or what, I wonder.
お前はそれをずっと望んできたはず
You won't be furniture anymore.
Yeah.
自らに存在価値を持たぬ家具にとってただ存在するだけの日々は苦痛に他ならない 魂ある者にとってうつしおは固執すべきものだが、亡き者にとってうつしおは苦害でしかないからの。
Hmm. Complicated expressions flitted across Cannon's face. It was the day of release that he had been looking forward to. However, the coming of this day had been mercilessly sudden. And the hateful tone of the witch who had proclaimed this day of rest made it somehow difficult to accept. Yeah, because she sounds fucking crazy, dude. Cannon wasn't even able to decide what emotion he should feel.
なぜに喜ばぬ？それともうつしおに何かの未練があるというのか？家具の分際で。
未練などない。僕は家具だから。
貴様は実に模範的な家具だな。よい。
That's a good show.
しかし何の未練もないとはつくづく面白みのない。
未練こそがお前の快楽だというのか。
その通り。1000年も生きると大抵の魔女は生き飽きる。わらわは退屈から逃れるために人間たちの運命にブランデーや果実を練り込み、ケーキのように焼き上げるのだ。オーブンの中で苛烈な運命に踊る人間たちのなんと面白きこと。
That is very Hansel and Gretel, isn't it? Cooking oven? Yeah.
わらわは
Yeah, I don't
こ
think
の方
she's
面に
talking
かけ
about
て
it
はちと
literally,
知られていてな。わらわの料理の腕を見に、時に
Oh,
は遠方から珍客が見物に来ることすらあるく
yeah,
ら
you
い。
never know. She might be cooking people.
Kind of sounds
言
like
って
she's
も
cooking
家具
people.
ごときには理解できぬか。
Ganon wasn't able to understand what the witch was saying. However, he realized well enough that this was a terrifying being who treated the fates of humans as a show, and was getting enjoyment out of doing them some kind of harm. However, furniture had no soul or life, much less a fate. If you had the chance to change your fate, would you? Pitiful furniture did nothing but serve until the day they would be released from the world. To furniture like that, the witch who had come to release them from everything was also a being overflowing with mercy. Even though the day that Kenan had been waiting impatiently for had come, he was unable to readily accept it, and this greatly bewildered him. Why was that? Monday. The face of Shannon, the person he loved as a sister, rose to his mind.
¿Dónde está?
And for some reason, Jessica's face did too. Kenan bit his lower lip painfully. Oh, he's thinking about her.
Jessica?
Yeah. Thinking of Jeshka was not permitted for furniture. He had been aware of that and had found fault with Shannon's relationship. So how could he remember Jeshka at a time like this? He felt a little ashamed by how weak he was. And to forget about Jeshka, he turned his thoughts to Shannon. Shannon is also furniture. On the day everything returns to nothing, there was no reason she shouldn't be happy. But Shannon, through her relationship with George, had come to know an emotion that shouldn't be known by furniture. Even though she wasn't qualified to be bound with him, she was still wallowing in a dream that she wasn't permitted to have. Sounds like Cannon's a little jealous.
Maybe.
Of Shannon and George's relationship, even though it's not going to work out. Could Shannon accept something like this now with open arms? Impossible. Shannon would have lingering regrets. That would probably become a great source of pain and torture for her. And those regrets had been planted by none other than this witch. Why? Just because that would be more interesting.
シャノンは待ちわびていたはずの日に知ってはならない感情を持ち、とても辛い思いを強いられるだろう。僕たち家具を解放する日を手土産に訪れてくれたあなたに感謝する。そしてシャノンにその日を受け入れがたくしたお前を憎む。
お前もシャノン同様に未練に苦しませてやりたかったぞ。しかしお前は愚直に家具であり続け、わらわに籠絡されることもなかった。しかしシャノンを慕いすぎたようだな。
Interesting.
シャノンの未練がそなたの未練となる。それはわらわへの憎悪へと変わるのか？
Not love in that sense. Like love's like familial love.
No, I know.
Oh,
But
okay,
it's
okay.
still, like, Canon managed to reject love for Jessica.
Because
Maybe not because, but. And in doing so. Or, no, not. Maybe they're not even really related. So, like, Canon was able to reject his love for Jessica and remain furniture that way. But his love, even familiar love, like love of a sibling, was still enough to leave him regrets.
gotcha.
You know.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
わらわを殺したくば殺してみるがよい。
But even then, I don't think he really got over Jessica. Like, as much as he tried, like, it just said that her face popped into his mind, so, like.
金蔵の家具ならばその程度の力は持っていよう。しかしわらわを殺せば家具どもに安息の日は永遠に訪れぬぞ。
Wait, as Kinto's furniture, you should have that much power to kill her? Why would furniture have the power to kill a witch?
そなたにそれが耐えられるのか？
Well, if you hit someone in the head with a chair, it'll probably kill.
Right, but, like,
わ
she
ら
isn't
わによる
human.
解放を本当に拒むことができるのか？ひざまずけ。
Damn.
何を？
ひざまずき、わらわの靴に口づけをするがよ。
That's hot.
さもなくばわらわはこの場を立ち去ろうぞ。帰りて永遠に姿を現わさぬ。のうカノン、そなたはそれに耐えられるのか？黄金鏡の扉が開かれればそなたの苦難に満ちた家具の生は終わろう。望むならば人間としての生を与えてもよい。さすればもはやジェシカとは対等。
Oh, she's.
貴様も知りたいはずだ。恋の味が。
She's digging in.
隠そうとも知っておるぞ。甘き恋の沼にて溺れるシャノンを見てそなたは羨ましがっている。
I thought so.
恋の味を知りたくてうずうずしておるのよ。
やめろやめろ。僕を再び籠絡するつもりか。僕はお前を楽しませるためのおもちゃになり果てたりしない。
ほう。
Oh.
ならばシャノンで満足するとしよう。まいた種はそなただけではないのでな。時には実を結ばぬ果実もある。鍵を手にせし者は以下に従いて黄金鏡へ旅立つべし。
Laid hand upon.
第一の番に鍵の選びし6人を生贄に捧げよ。第二の番に残されし者は寄り添う2人を引き裂け。
The witch recited the epitaph again. It was so sudden and diverged so strongly from the current topic. However, her challenging smile made it seem almost as though she were using that epitaph as a threat to Canon.
わからぬか。この碑文の儀式を成し遂げるには第二の番に寄り添う2人を生贄に捧げねばならぬ。寄り添う2人は誰でもよい。
It could be any two who are close.
夫婦でもよいし 恋人同士でもよい。
I was
Oh.
able to do Yoshi before.
Yeah, the first time around.
誰を選ぶかは儀式のルールにのっとり、わらわが気まぐれに決めてよいことになっている。今の
But
シ
yeah,
ャ
this is
ノ
all
ンなら
bullshit because there's a human
こ
killer
れほ
just
どふ
going
さわ
around
しい
stabbing
第二
people
の
with
番の
bicycles.
生贄もないとは思わぬか。
Of course.
Don't let this hallucination trick you.
It's not a... What a dirty... That's you. Dirty son of a bitch. Cannon learned then. He had thought that he had given up everything and lived until today as furniture, like furniture should.
Gonna learn today.
But in reality, that wasn't true. He had loved Shannon too dearly. And so, when Shannon was in pain, Cannon shared in that. If only Shannon had continued to exist as furniture, living indifferently like Cannon without any attachments to this world, they wouldn't have had to be in so much pain. The witch planned to toy with Shannon, who had learned the taste of love. No, who she had taught the taste of love, as she killed her. She would not invite her to the Golden Land as a merciful release, but would make her a sacrifice for that evil ritual after dealing her the limits of torture and pain.
Blackmail.
And this witch would probably make Shannon meet this horrible fate for no other reason than it would be interesting for her. Furthermore, she was threatening to do that so that she could make Cannon, who hadn't submitted to the witch even once until now, finally surrender. It was that simple. In the end, though he had tried resisting the witch to avoid pleasing her, he had only made things interesting.
She doesn't exist. Don't listen to her.
Mm-hmm. After all, he was furniture. No, a toy. They were nothing but toys meant only to distract her from her boredom.
どうするカノン。ひざまずけばシャノンを生贄に選ぶことを控えんこともないぞ。
Oh, shut up.
お前のような玩具を一度屈服させてみたかった。
She's got this whole... She's got this whole thing going on. This weird, like, dominatrix thing.
Oh my gosh.
Without even a fragment of elegance, the witch sneered at Cannon with a vulgar laugh. Yes, even before Cannon had made up his mind, she had seen through to his surrender. Cannon got down on one knee and chose to genuflect before the witch. He didn't care what happened to himself. However, just the fact that Shannon, who during his days as furniture had given him his only reason to live, was being toyed with, that alone was something that he couldn't overlook. Therefore, something like kissing the shoes of the witch was an easy oath for Cannon to make. At the time that his quivering lips actually touched the witch's shoe, Beatrice, after allowing a look of ecstasy to rise to her face, let out an ear-splitting laugh. In that moment, the witch who had tired of 1,000 years of life, was completely filled with the evil emotion that was her only raison d'être. Glass break? Nah. Oh, great. Lunch had ended, and the relatives had moved to the parlor. Rosa had bought a high-class brand of black tea from a famous store in Ginza. That had been served, and the inside of the parlor was filled with a very nice aroma. Since the children were together with the adults were, at least on the surface, interacting like relatives, talking peacefully about recent events and how their children were growing up. It had started raining outside, so the children were unable to go out, and had no choice but to sit here like this, watching TV. Like a true TV kid, Maria was watching vapid daytime programs one after another without getting bored, and was giggling all to herself. It seemed that Battler had joined in at first, deepening his relationship with Maria, but he had gotten up early that morning and so was gradually attacked by waves of drowsiness.
おや、大きなあくびだね。朝がずいぶん早かったんじゃないのかい？ ま、そんなとこだよ。
Indeed.
緊張が解けて雨の音を聞いてるうちに眠くなってきちまった。
緊張あんだけ態度でかそうにしてて緊張なんてしてたのかよ。
一応俺なりにはな。
But he's up to the wall.
This is making me sleepy. Valor gave a great yawn once again and slowly lay down on the sofa. He really did look tired. George and the others had started talking to him, taking his yawns as a sign of boredom, but when they realized he really was sleepy, they decided to let him be.
おやおや、食事の後にすぐ横になるとサバになると思う。
Of course. Who else would be in that though?
None other. Oh.
冗談よせ。ゴーダさん、今夜は子牛のステーキだって言ってたぜ。サバのステーキになっちまう。
There we go. Mackerel steak.
熊沢さん、こいつ本当に眠いらしい。毛布を持ってきてあげてくれないかな。
さあどうぞ。
Kumasawa brought a blanket over from the shelf. The spacious parlor wasn't cold, but the air had gotten a little chilly. So when the blanket was placed over Battler, he immediately wrapped himself up in it and curled up like a toad, retreating into its shell.
本当に眠かったんだね。何時かに起きる？起こしてあげるよ。
あ、いや、特に希望は。なんか用があったら起こしてくれりゃいいし、なんにもねえんならずっと眠らせてくれりゃいいぜ。おやすみ。
Sleep forever. That's kind of dark considering all the things that we've seen before.
おお、バトラン寝ちゃうの？お昼寝マリアもする。こらマリア、バトラは眠いんだから放っておいてあげなきゃ。熊沢さん、もう一枚毛布をもらえるかな。
It was doubtful that Maria really wanted to take a nap. She probably just saw Battler wrapped up in a blanket and wanted to do the same. When she received the blanket from Kumasawa, she joyfully wrapped herself up in it and set up camp in front of the TV.
ちぇ、せっかく6年ぶりにいとこがみんな揃ったってのによ。こいつ今回の親族会議の主賓だって自覚全然ねえな。
聞こえてるぞ。
Why is Battler the main guest? Oh, because it's been so long since he's been there.
のんびり昼飯を食って、しかも外は台風で雨。
Little does she know there's another guest.
何もすることがねえってことは、つまり俺の出番じゃねえってことさ。
それはどうかな。何も起こらないから何もしないなんて受け身の姿勢じゃ人生は退屈だよ。
違うぜ、そういう意味じゃない。なんつうのかな。こういう
Sound like
時
someone just forget.
俺はこう思うことにしてる。出番じゃねえんだよ。
Interesting. Very
こいつ
interesting.
がお芝居だったならさ、だったら舞台袖でおとなしくしてるに
It's
限る
not
っ
like
て
someone
わ
we
け
just
さ。
forget.
自分の人生はいつだって自分が
We're
主
breaking
人
the
公だ
fourth
ろ。
wall here, folks.
Yeah.
そんな脇役根性でどうすんだよ。自分から進んで舞台に上がらなきゃ。
そういう意味じゃねえ。今は俺の出番じゃねえって言いたいのさ。悪いな。眠くて思考がめちゃくちゃだ。勘弁してくれ。
確かに眠くてなんだか尻滅裂なことを言ってるね。もうそっとしてあげようよ。
私は聞き捨てならねえぜ。自分の人生はいつだって自分が主人公だよ。ちょっとそのあたり本格的にバトラーと議論したいけどな。
寝ぼけてるだけだよ。深く考えちゃダメさ。
なんかさ、自分は主役になれないから舞台に上がりたくないみたいな根性、なぜだかすっげえうぜえって思って。
With distant eyes, Jessica gazed out the window at the gray rose garden obscured by rain. When she put her forehead up against the glass, it felt as though the pleasantly cool sensation would chase away memories that she didn't want to remember.
君の出番じゃなかったってことなのかよ。じゃあいつ君は舞台に上がるんだよ。
Canon?
In that case, who is the main character on this stage?
She's talking about Canon, right?
I think so. I think she is.
What is going on?
もうやりたい放題じゃねえかよ。なんだこりゃよ。
Me when I'm playing this. What the shit is this?
めちゃくちゃじゃねえ
What
か。
the shit?
そなたがわらわを否定する根拠とする18人だの19人だのという理論が実に滑稽だったのでな。指し手を変えてみたまでよ。そなたがわらわを否定する最大の根拠は単にわらわが駒としてゲーム盤に並ばなかったからというだけのこと。ならばこうしてクイーンを先に指せばいいだけの話ではないか。
Oh,
No, it's
so
somebody.
she inserted herself into
She
this.
didn't insert herself. She inserted one of the characters dressed up as herself.
初手にてクイーンに道を開けるはチェ
She
スの
doesn't
王道
exist.
ではない
Somebody's
か。
obviously impersonating her.
I'm getting so fucking tired of hearing this.
ふざけやがって。
Yeah, real fucking funny, John.
こんなの認められるわけねえじゃねえかよ。
Yeah, how the hell can I accept that? There's no such thing as a witch.
Just keep walking in right to the
ふ
entrance.
ざけるんじゃね
That's my feelings, Battler.
Royal load of bullshit.
なんだなんだ。前回のゲームではそなたに散々自由に手を進めさせたぞ。こたびはわらわがそなたの手に合わせて駒を動かしたに過ぎん。焦点にてもう
I don't
降
even think he knew he was in
参
a game last time.
Yeah, he didn't.
くそったね。ふざけるな。誰が降参なんかするかってんだ。上等な指し手だぜ。好きに進めればいいじゃねえか。なるほどな。まだまだお前の手番は終わってないってわけだ。好きに手を進めりゃいい。今のうちに十分な陣形を築いとけ。俺が必ずしのぐ。必ず詰める。言い訳なんてされたくねえ。存分に来やがれってんだ。まだまだこの程度じゃ魔女なんて認められるわけがねえぜ。そうさ。さっきマリアのお菓子を魔法で直したように見えたが、実は同じお菓子をもう一つ懐に忍ばせていて、芝居がかった方法ですり替えて。ああ、そうさ、そうに決まってる。
Yes.
ダメだぜ。全然ダ
You
メだ
can't
ぜ。
magically fix candy.
He's reaching, man.
ほうほう。
Oh,
ローザは歌詞が蝶に散る瞬間を見たぞ。
知らねえよ。そんなのは幻覚か手品か。さもなきゃ見間違いだろ。大した問題じゃね
he's got nothing to. He's just denying her for the sake of denying her.
説明のつかぬ部分はさまっ
There's
と
no
切り捨て
logic
た
to
か
what
ら。
he doesn't have a good argument based on what he's shown her. And until he gets a good argument,
Oh, maybe he's gonna find a good argument.
I would assume he does by the end of this VM. But
なるほど。それがそなたの受け手であるな。
I never actually
墓
played
穴を掘
game,
ったぞ。
so I don't know.
that's true.
後ろ宮バトラー。お前の手番はまだ先だぞ。もうしばらくわらわの手番を進めさせてもらう。まだまだこれからだぞ。魔女の手番は。
When they started hearing Battler's snores, the relatives went their separate ways, leaving the parlor and letting Battler sleep in silence. Even though it had been so lively in the parlor with so many people gathered there, when all of them scattered at once and were sucked into the vast mansion, it created an eerie silence with no sound except that of the rain.
Yeah? そんな人間には一度も会ったことはないぜ、姉貴は。
会ったことなんてないわ。キリエさん、本当なの？私もちょっと玄関ホールに出た時に挨拶をしただけです。20歳ちょっとくらいに見えたわ。私は名乗ったんだけど、彼女は名乗らなかった。源氏さんに案内されて2階へ登っていくのを見たの。
なら源氏さんを見つけて直接話を聞いた方が早いやろ。しかし妙な雲行きになってきよったな。
The mystery woman had spoken to Kyrie. Without naming herself, she had sneered that Kyrie already had a vague idea of who she was. And the person that brought to mind was her lookalike, the witch of the portrait.
そいつは自分が肖像画の魔女様だとそう言いたいってのかよ。
私はそういう意味で笑ったんだろうと理解したわ。私とは初対面でも、私があなたの5歳だと知っているような口ぶりだった。
姉貴、本当にそんな奴は知らないんだ。
くどいわよ。
Fake news.
Yep.
そんな金髪女、この屋敷に出入りしたところなんて見たこともない。
そんなようなことはどうでもええで。問題はその女が自分はベアトリーチェだと名乗り、お父さんの財産管理人を名乗った場合の方や。
あるいは愛人の娘を自称して遺産の分配を要求するつもりかしら。いずれにせよとんでもないジョーカーが紛れ込んだものね。兄さんが呼んだの？それともお父様が？
まずい。俺たちは兄貴をうまく言いくるめりゃなんとかできるものと思ってきた。しかしこれじゃ話が振り出しに戻っちまう。
あなたが私の知らないところでどんな策謀を巡らしてたのか知らないけれど、どうも少しは対策を立てる時間を得られたみたいね。
ああ、その金髪姉ちゃんが晩飯の席で突然現れて俺らの度肝を抜くのに比べたら今からわずかの時間でも対策を協議できる方がマシだ。
何しに現れたか分からへん以上、打てる対策も限られとるで。向こうの狙いは何なんや。
決まってるでしょ。お父様の遺産の正当な後継者だと言い張るためよ。お父様は未だにベアトリーチェの虜なのよ。その娘がいたなら全財産を譲りたいと言い出すはずだわ。妙な遺言状でも突きつけてくるかもしれない。そりゃ裁判沙汰にすれば半分の4分の1は主張できるかもしれないけど、多分決着するまで遺産分割はできなくなるわよ。それは困る。私もルドルフももちろんローザもね。
俺たちはそれぞれの都合で早急にまとまった金がいる。
More than that, they wanted a lot of money right now.
Right
俺
now.
たち最大のウィークポイントってわけだ。
Weak point.
なら狙いは何だ？キリエ、読めるか？
初耳なんだけれど、私たちには急ぎまとまったお金が必要だという前提があるのね。
キリエさん、男の商売には攻めの時にこそ軍資金が入りようになることもあるんや。それを分かってえな。
なあにルドルフ、キリエさんには話してなかったの？
すまん、隠してたわけじゃないんだ。実はちょいとした。
いいわ。あなたが私に話す必要がないと判断した話なんだから、それをこの場では追求しない。それより急務は 黄金の魔女様の狙いを探ることなんでしょ。
ああ、
What a woman.
俺たちの話を整理した上で敵の撃ってくる手が見えるか。
Rudolph had a certain measure of trust in Kirie's unique thinking technique, chessboard thinking. Of course, it didn't give him any more peace of mind than fortune-telling. But every time Rudolph was concocting some important strategy, he would give a great deal of thought to Kirie's advice. For a while, Kirie pressed her finger against her forehead, considering.
今日の今日まで彼女が訪れることが伏せられていた以上、彼女は私たちに何らかのサプライズを与える目的があった。それが財産なのか、親族としての認知なのかは分かりかねるわ。でも今日の今日まで訪れることを伏せていたということは、事前に知らせることで対応を打たれたくなかったと言えるかもしれない。ということは、彼女の目的は対応を打たれると不利になるものらしい。わかる？
なるほどな。例えば親父が以前に書かせた遺言状そのものだとか、血縁の認知とそれを証明できるものだとか、そういうものを持ってきたと仮定して、それが揺るぎないもので盤石な証拠だというなら、むしろそれは予告するはずだろうよ。
そうね。むしろ疑う立場にある私たちに弁護士でも鑑定士でも連れてこさせて、グーの音も出ないくらいに事実を突きつけるべきなのよ。
Yeah, rather than not even just say that she
そ
was
れ
gonna
が
be
で
there.
きるならね。
つまり奇襲狙いという時点で敵は真正面からの正攻法では勝てんということ道理や。絶対勝てる切り札は堂々と切るに限るで。回りくどい切り方はむしろ切り札を曇らせるもんや。
結論から言うと、皆さんがご就寝の遺産問題に直接もしくは間接的に絡む相当のサプライズが突きつけられると予想されるわね。おそらく向こうはそのインパクトだけでこちらを圧倒できるつもりでいる。しかしその何かは相当のインパクトを伴いながらも絶対ではない。つまりそこがこちらのつけ込む余地というわけね。
あんたはほんま頭の切れるお人や。これだけでも分かればだいぶ心強いで。つまり相手のペースに飲み込まれるなっちゅうことやな。
結局のところ非常にシンプルな結論よ。相手が何を切り出そうとも焦らず冷静に対応する。交渉術の初歩の初歩じゃない。これじゃあ相手の思考を読めたとはとても言えないわ。
いいや、相変わらずなかなかのもんだぜ。こちらに攻める余地があると分かれば余裕も変わってくるってもんだ。
わからないのは彼女とクラウス兄さんの関係ね。クラウス兄さんにとってもサプライズなのか、それとも彼女を呼んだのは他でもないクラウス兄さん自身なのか。もし後者だったなら随分と厄介なことになるかもしれないわよ。そうね。謎の女を親族会議の当日にこっそり呼びつける。いやらしいセンスがどことなく兄さんっぽい感じもする。
Why are they speculating? They haven't even met her yet.
There's gotta be some foundational knowledge before they go in, I guess.
女の正体がはっきりと証明できない限り、俺らはその女のいかなる身分も認めない。
それが最善ね。現に桐江さんに対して名乗ってすらいない正体不明の女の発言で私たちの会議がかき回されちゃたまらないわ。
血縁証明でも示してみせるかもしれんで。お父さんの血が流れてることが例えば母子手帳でも示されたらどうにもならん。
証明物なんかいくらでも偽装を疑える。仮にそれが本物だったとしても当人が本人だと証明するには病院沙汰にしなきゃならん。今の六軒島でそれを証明することは不可能だ。
その通りね。つまりこういうことよ。 今の六軒島では何が示されても真実だと受け入れることはできない。台風が去ってしかるべき場所で証明してみせるまで何
そういうので上げ足を取りまくるのは姉貴の得意技だね。
Yep.
Oh, that's a great line.
任せるぜ。
バカ言ってんじゃないわよ。あんたも協力するのよ。私たちにはお金がいる。それも急ぎまとまった額が。私たちは運命共同体よ。
We need money, and quickly, and a large
こ
sum.
んなところでひょっこり現れた謎の女
More
に
than
遺産
anything,
の当
you
てを
need
ぶ
it
ち殺され
right
てたまるんですか。
Now.
今何時ですか?
It was only at a time like this that Rudolph and Ava united as siblings, sickened by the idea that their own inheritance might be snatched away by an outsider. Gideon noticed how indomitable they looked, shook her head slightly, and gave a small sigh as she looked out the window. Outside, there was still a strong rain falling, and everything was gray, having lost all vibrance. It felt like the lush garden that the sun had shone on earlier had never existed. For some reason, the words Ava had said just a short while ago kept repeating in Kidie's head. Oh, it boils down to this. I can't even. No matter what is shown to us now in Rakenjima, it can't be accepted as truth.
It can't be accepted as truth.
So Beatrice can't be accepted as truth.
Yes.
Or be accepted as existing.
Yes.
There was an odd nuance to those words. Right now, this island was closed off by the typhoon and isolated. There were no official institutions here and no hospital. So no matter what institution had issued what kind of documentation on this island, no one could claim, or one could claim that it was all fiction. It was impossible to prove that something was the truth. They were cut off from the outside world, and all truths proven in the outside world would be called fiction. It's a damn good thing they don't have smartphones. Or internet, you know. So did that mean that now, on this Rokenjima, there was nothing that was truthful? That everything would be controlled by a fiction? Say, two people playing a chess game? It almost gave the illusion that separate from the human world made from truth was another world called fiction in which they had been shut away. Huh. Gonna dwell on that line a little bit. Kiria remembered what that woman had looked like one more time. And she remembered the woman's figure in the witch of the portrait. On this island, which had been isolated from the world of humans and shut away in the world of non-humans, a non-human being had visited. No matter what she did, Kirie couldn't help but think of the smile that had appeared on that woman's face as anything other than ominous. In trying to understand that ominous smile, it feels like my chessboard thinking mistook a vital premise. That's right. That smile seemed like that of something non-human looking down on me. I had reasoned based on the assumption that our opponent was a human like us. However, just like this island now, she may be a being that is not human, and human values may not apply to her. In that case, all reasoning is useless. For what reason was the witch invited here today? Only one thing is certain. Right this very moment, she is staying somewhere in this vast mansion.
Maria,
Oh no, not these two again.
今日のお昼にお外で
Those in child
私たち
abuse, name a more
会っ
accurate.
たわ。女の人に。あれは誰？ おー。
Oh my god, I'm afraid to hit the spacebar. Here we go.
何度も言ってる。ベアトリーチェ。
There we go.
マリアは以前にベアトリーチェと会ったことがあるの？うん。毎年会ってる。毎年？この六軒島のお屋敷で？おうじゃわからないでしょ。そうなの？いつから会ってるの？何年前から？ わかんない。
わからない？
Wait, didn't we see this earlier? Or a conversation like this? Maybe about the umbrella?
Maybe.
どうして？去年？一昨年？
もっと前から。おお。
Rosa was aghast. Only the Ushiromiya mansion existed on this island, so there was no way that there were any humans other than themselves on this island. And yet, Maria had said that she had been meeting with that suspicious woman every year during the family conference. If what Maria said was the truth, then that strange woman called Beatrice had been at the family conference every year. That's insane. Is she saying that some eerie woman was at the family conference every year and none of us ever noticed it? Even though Rosa had just met herself a couple of hours ago in the Rose Garden, she was overcome with a strange emotion which told her not to accept her existence. What in the world did I meet with earlier today in the Rose Garden as the typhoon blew close and the winds blew strong?
マリア、あなたは毎年彼女と会ってると言ったわね。会って何をしてるの？
お歌を歌ったり、魔法を習ったり、魔法陣の書き方も習うの。
そう、それはすごいわね。マリアがよく自由帳に落書きじゃない、魔法陣を書いたりしてるわよね。それも彼女に教えてもらったの？
ベアトリーチェにね、お手本書いてもらうの。ほらほら、見て見て。
Maria joyfully fished around in her handbag. Then she took out a notebook and started opening its pages. Most of the pages were covered with drawings that were literally scribbles. All of them were occult-like things. And while it might sound rude to Maria, who was joyfully flipping through the pages, they were all creepy.
ほらこれ、ベアトリーチェが書いてくれた。
Does look a little familiar. On each page Maria opened to, there was another eerie magic circle that had been drawn. Furthermore, at a glance, Rosa realized that Maria hadn't drawn them. The strength of the strokes, the thickness of the lines, how clean the shape was. This by itself wasn't enough to guess the background of the person who had drawn it, but it was enough for Rosa to understand that it was definitely someone older than Maria. Rosa had to accept it now. There really was a person on this Rokenjima who she hadn't even known existed, and this person had been playing with Maria during the family conference every year.
マリア、その魔女のベアトリーチェはここに住んでいるの？それとも私たちのように島の外に住んでいるの？
おう、ベアトリーチェはロッケン島の魔女だからこの島に住んでる。
じゃあ親族会議のない日にこの島にいる？
おう。
ふうじゃわからないでしょ。
There are those eyes.
どれろ？
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. How long has this unknown witch been living on this island? I used to live on this island. I lived on this island, passing the time in the mansion and the rose garden. And even so, I never encountered a witch like that. Never. I think.
I hear down in their voice.
ママ、ママ、どうしたの？ママ。
痛い。
I'm sure Natsu has something for that.
I was probably getting a little mixed up with my memories from when I was a young girl. When I was a young girl, unlike Maria, I was very frightened of witches. So for me, the name Beatrice was a synonym for something frightening. So it must be that my feeling of fear from my days as a young girl has been revived because a woman calling herself that has appeared. She couldn't be a witch. She's obviously a human calling herself Beatrice, right? Oh, yes. That witch entrusted me with an envelope. What in the world could that be? Rosa pulled that western envelope out of her pocket. It was the western envelope which bore the Ushiromiya crest, which Kinzo used on his personal letters, and it had even been sealed with the red sealing wax by the head's ring, which Kinzo held. Which meant this envelope belonged to the Ushiromiya head. In other words, it was from Father. Why was a woman calling herself Beatrice holding it, and why did she give it to me? That's right. I'm sure she said to read this aloud at dinner. What in the world could be written inside? Anxiety gripped Rosa, as if opening this envelope might release some kind of monumental disaster. However, at the same time, a little curiosity sprouted up, causing her to want to find out what was written inside before the other siblings.
So open it.
Using common sense, one could guess that a huge decision somehow related to Father's inheritance was probably written inside. Actually, since he had given it to a woman calling herself Beatrice, there was no way that wasn't related. Did this mean that he wanted the inheritance split not between 4, but between 5, including her? I need a large sum of money, and I can't wait long.
So I need it now.
They all wanted a large amount of money, and they all wanted it now. I do feel like a sinful daughter for discussing the distribution of Father's inheritance while he's still alive. However, I'm no longer at a stage where I can afford to keep everything pretty. And I'm even consulting with Rudolf Nissan and Ava Nason in order to get some money out of Cross Nissan. With myself in this situation, I can't help but sense something ominous in the appearance of the witch. What could be written in here? I'm sure there must be something frightening written. Shall I first read it secretly myself? The witch had requested it be done at the dinner table when everyone was gathered. However, in that case, couldn't she just read it aloud at the dinner table herself? Why did she go to all the trouble of entrusting it to me? I think he's just trying to mess with her. Make her look like crazy.
Probably.
Did that mean, basically, that it didn't matter whether I secretly read it beforehand? It would be better to secretly read the contents first. I understand that it would be breaking my promise, but this is no longer the time to keep things pretty. It would probably be good to discuss it with Ava Nason and Rudolf Nissan, depending on the contents. Nason and the rest are always really good thinkers when it comes to this kind of thing. As I gulped and put my hand to the red sealing wax, something suddenly pulled on my sleeve and I let out a small shriek.
Nani?
I love that, like, her right eye, like, twitching.
Yeah.
Like, it's closed a little more than the other one. A little bead of sweat.
驚かせないで。何？ダメ。
No.
ベアトリーチェはママにその手紙は晩餐で読みなさいって言った。魔女の約束は破っちゃダメだよ。違うわよ。ちょっと封筒を見ただけじゃない。約束は守るわよ。ママもいつもマリアに約束は守りなさいって言ってるもんね。
Yeah.
ママももちろん約束は守るわよ。ママはいい子。その笑い方可愛くないからやめなさい。
That's cute.
おお。そういえばマリアも封筒をもらったわよね。中にはなんて書いてあったの？開けてない。ベアトリーチェは開ける時が来るまで開けちゃダメって言った。
But what time is
だ
it?
から大事に持ってる。
When is she supposed to?
そう。
I assume that the dinner's at the too.
ベアトリーチェの言うことはちゃんと聞くのね。マリアはベアトリーチェの弟子だから、お師匠の言うことはちゃん
Oh,
と聞くの。
that's a lot. There's a lot to unpack there.
そう。
そうですね。Rosa realized something. Mixed in with Maria's gaze was the light of a person other than Maria. If she broke the rules and opened the envelope here, Beatrice would definitely find out about it. Because Maria was the witch's disciple.
Oh my gosh.
Maria communicated with that witch.
ママは約束を守るわ。だから安心するようベアトリーチェに言ってね。伝える。ねえマリア、ベアトリーチェとお話をしたいんだけど、どうすれば会えるのかしら。知らない。ベアトリーチェはとても気まぐれだから、いつも突然姿を現すの。マリアからは会う方法を知らない。でもね、いつもマリアのことを見てるの。だからマリアが困っていると後できっと助けてくれるの。きっとね、姿を消してマリアの近くに
She's
隠れて
getting
るんだ
Natsu
よ。
over the head with the fan. Or whatever.
With, isn't it like a pipe or something?
Yeah.
A rod?
その笑いをやめなさいといつも言ってるでしょ。
Rosa reflexively hit Maria. Oh no. No! Maria on the head. That put a stop to Maria's laughing voice, but it wasn't able to erase the ominous color that had risen to her eyes. Rosa made a pact with herself. She swore that, at least until they left this island, she would not leave Maria alone. She couldn't allow an unknown being to make direct contact with her daughter anymore. She's finally being a good mother. Although, if it means...
Out of fear.
Yeah. If it means that she's gonna hit her more since she's around her more, then I don't know.
戻ってこねえな。
Oh, is that... You think that's a good stopping place, or do you want to continue?
I think that's good.
Yeah, I think that's a good stopping place, too. Alright, so we should have... get 2 videos out of that. Get those videos out this week, and...
Try to record before we head back home for break.
Yeah. But probably, I'm gonna warn you guys, there's probably gonna be most of the time from late December to mid-January where there's no videos. It depends how much we can record, though, before then.
Yeah.
Anyways, this has been Umineko, analyzing shit. My name is John.
Yelling at each other, arguing, flipping over chessboards. It's a good time. Take care.
Sayonara, motherfuckers.